Hi guys. Last week we were encouraged by Mike to count our blessings. It is so important for us to remember and recollect the good times, and very importantly as well, to see the tough times as blessings, because we survived and God has brought us through thus far. As I was listening to Mike sharing last week, I was drawn to James chapter 1 verse 2, which reads, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds." This is a very interesting verse because my first instinct when I go through trials and challenges in life is, God, why me? Joy is probably the last thing on my mind when I'm faced with trials and challenges, if it is even on my mind at all. James does go on to explain why we are to consider it pure joy. Verses 2 to 4 read, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." So what the Bible teaches us is that the trials we go through are necessary to produce perseverance, which is necessary if we want to be mature and complete and not lacking anything, which I'm sure we all do. This joy is not about being happy. There is a difference between joy and happiness. Joy is an inner condition of the heart, while happiness is an outward expression of the face. Joy embraces peace and contentment, while happiness comes and goes depending on external circumstances that we experience. It is possible to have and experience joy in difficult times, even through grief and uncertainty. Joy can share space with other emotions like sadness, anger, or even unhappiness, whereas happiness can't do all of these things. The Bible isn't telling us to be happy all the time. Instead, to be at peace and contented in any situation we find ourselves in, because we know there is a point to it all. Whilst it is certainly not easy to choose to be joyful when we experience trials and challenges, we can all try this little exercise which would help us to change our perspective of things that we have to do. So instead of saying, "I have to do something," say, "I get to do something." Okay, so instead of saying, "I have to go to work," say, "I get to go to work." Instead of saying, "I have to manage my finances," say, "I get to manage my finances." Instead of saying, "I have to read my Bible and pray every day," say, "I get to read my Bible and pray every day." And instead of saying, "I have to depend on God to provide my every need," say, "I get to depend on God to provide my every need." Let's recognize how blessed and privileged we are in whatever circumstance we find ourselves in, and not take for granted that today's trials and challenges will lead us to being mature and complete and not lacking anything. So, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds.